Hey, so this is what we're going to be making today. If you're ready, let's jump right in. Hey there, flower stabbers. It's Jessica Poe with Sola Flower University, and today we are going to be making some bouquets. Alright, so to begin with, I found these pots at the dollar store, and I filled them with expanding foam, just spray foam that expanded. I thought this would be a perfect series to do this week because it's all dollar store pots that you can find, super easy, and you can do all kinds of things with them. So I'm going to do 3 of those this week, and this is part 1 of that series. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need to do is cover this baby with moss. The reason we're covering this one with moss is I've got a lot of loose greenery and loose flowers and stuff, and so I'm kind of worried about it not totally, like there being some gaps showing through, and so this is really going to show through. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some glue gun and some moss, and I'm going to cover this. So now here comes the exciting part, the part that I've been so excited to show you guys, how to put a bouquet together. So there's a lot of parts to it, and it's really simple once you get it down. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to pick up all the different flowers that you have and figure out how many you have. The blue flowers, I have 5 blue flowers. So what I'm going to do is, it's really just math, which I know some of you are like, oh, math, I hate math. It's okay, it's easy math. So what you're going to do is you're going to have, depending on how many layers you are, you're going to divide it up to have more on the bottom and then less on the top. So for this one, I'm going to do 2 layers, and I'm going to do 3 and 2. See, super simple, because we want more on the bottom. So we're going to put 3 on the bottom, and then we're going to put 2 up on top, and it's going to be awesome. So to put this in, you're going to be doing a rule of thirds. So I'm going to stick it in about that way, and then you want to think third. So like draw a triangle with your mind or something, but like where that triangle is, stick in another flower, and then point of the triangle, stick in another flower, and then as you can see, like that, we've got rule of thirds, pretty easy. Then I'm going to take my red flowers, and I also have 5 of those. So because I already know that I have 5, I'm just going to go ahead and take 3, and I'm going to do rule of thirds on the bottom layer as well. But I'm just going to go in between the blue flowers. When you're doing floristry, you know, it's all about math. To get it all look nice and to look even and symmetrical, you've got to think about the numbers. It's a numbers game, really, and about getting it all even and spread out. So we've got 3 and 3 like that, and it's all evenly spread out. Now we've got the 2 and the 2. Please keep in mind, I've got these already stabbed, already stemmed, ready to go. So you want to make sure that everything is stabbed and ready. And if you don't know how to do that, I've got links in the description down below on how to stem your flowers. And I go through the whole process, and it's pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead, and because we've got 2 blue flowers left, I'm going to do just either side of the bouquet. Stick one in over here. Just really use 2 fingers. When you're pushing them in, it's better to push in the stem than the flower itself. You could risk the stem coming through the flower and poking you in your hand, but if you push in with the stem, you got a little bit more structure and then a little bit more grip. And then you can kind of push the top of the flower to push it in all the way. I just wouldn't suggest doing it the whole way. And then I'm going to stick this in over here. Keep in mind, like, height of everything, and you want to keep everything about the same height. My greenery is a little higher, and so I might actually pull these flowers out a little bit more, just that way we keep our height where I want it. The whole time you need to be thinking about how high you want it, and where everything's going to be going, so that way it turns out the way you want it to. So we're going to push it in, all right, that right there. Okay, and right here. Now, when you're finished, you're more than welcome to pull the flowers out and put a little bit of glue on the end and stick them back in, so that way they don't ever come out. I've also found though personally that just sticking them into the foam, they stay pretty well in of themselves. But if you're worried about them coming out at all, you can go ahead and do that extra step and just stick them in glue and then stick them in. Alright, so the next part is we are going to be starting to add in the greenery. Now the greenery I have already gotten all separated out. It was originally all one big piece, and then I separated it out into two different kinds of greenery. I've got this kind of greenery that has 3 on it. This was at the end of the branch, and then I pulled off individual ones that I individually took and stemmed. So we're going to be working with both. I'm going to start with the 3, and I'm just going to go in and just evenly spread it throughout, and I'm going to try to push it down in fairly deep, and so that way we keep that same height all the way throughout. Let's see, I should probably count how much greenery I have. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So because I have 7, I'm probably going to do 4 and 3. So we got 1 right there. I'm going to stick in 1 over here. Okay. And with greenery, it's a little bit different because you're working between the flowers rather than sticking them in initially. So I've got that. Then I'm going to stick some greenery up in the top part. Remember, keeping with the layers. Adding in 3 on the top, kind of spreading them out like a triangle, kind of like we did with the flowers a little bit, and making sure that they go between flowers, filling in those empty spaces in the bouquet. All right, so that's what we've got so far. We're already looking pretty gorgeous. We're gonna go in with my looser ones, and I'm gonna just start filling in gaps where I see that it needs it, and getting everything to look even and green. This bouquet, I really wanted it to turn out really green, and so that's why I've got a lot of greenery going here and making sure that we've got a lot to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in a bunch of loose ones, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the extra greenery all nice and filled in there. We've got lots of good greenery going on. So what I'm going to do next is put in my last bit of greenery, which is these little pink flowers. And these little pink flowers, I'm just going to go in, and again, I'm just filling in gaps and just adding little pops of color. Not really total rhyme or reason, it's more just where I see gaps and where I feel like it needs it. There's always a little bit of an art form to crafts, and this craft is no exception. All right, there you have it. This is the finished bouquet. It is beautiful. We've got flowers that are spread throughout. We've got little pops of pink, and we've got purple and blue and lots of greenery. A very fun spring vibe to it. All right, that's all I had for you today. Now, don't forget, I'm doing 2 other bouquets this week, so make sure you keep watch out for those and click the subscribe button so you can get a notification when I drop those. And that is all I have, so don't forget to stay creative, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Flower Stabbers!